Welcome everybody. I have a fantastic replay here. This was sent to me by my good friend and partner in crime, RNGesus Taketh Away. This video's got pretty much everything that I love to see in a great replay and a great game. It's got torpedo beats, it's got torpedo hits, he does a metric butt ton of damage, a lot of kills, and so we'll just dive right into it. So today RNGesus is playing the Atago. If you don't know the Atago and what it does, I'll give you a brief breakdown on what she's capable of. So the Atago is a Tier 8 premium Japanese cruiser, and it was really one of the first Tier 8 premiums in the game, and she kind of has an interesting arc on how she kind of developed in the current game to where she is now. So she kind of started off as one of the weaker Tier 8 premiums, and then through a series of changes she was given a really nice heal, which is something unique to the Tier 8 premium or Tier 8 cruisers in general. She is the only Tier 8 cruiser with the heal. They eventually did give the heal to Tier 9 and 10 cruisers, but the Atago at the point of this recording is the only Tier 8 cruiser to have a heal. So what's so great about the Atago? What makes the Atago great other than the heal? Well, she has fantastic torpedoes, and more importantly, torpedo arcs. She can fire almost straight ahead in the actual torpedoes. One of her torpedo launchers can fire very, very far forward, which is nice. So we see RNGesus start to take the fight to the enemy here, and he's going up north, and he starts to engage this Kiev. Now the Atago isn't the best cruiser for killing destroyers, mainly because her rate of fire is not that fast. But if you are accurate and if you do land those hits, her HE damage is really, really impressive. As you can see, he is just absolutely wrecking that Kiev's modules, doing a lot of damage as well. And the Kiev really doesn't have that much health to give away either, so he's really putting himself at a disadvantage early on in this game. But you'll see the kind of shenanigans that RNGesus gets into in the northeast corner of this map. There's lots of islands, lots of places to hide. This is a pretty favorite area for destroyers and cruisers to go play around with. Not so much battleships, but coming up shortly here, we are going to see two Tirpitz and a Fuso kind of get into the mix with RNGesus up here, which is not going to turn out well for their health. So he's turning in now. He's being a little bit more aggressive, and you can really be aggressive with the Atago, and that's 100% due to the fact that she has that heal that really allows her to have the longevity and to get stuck in and get in a good brawl. Her Citadel is not the best. It's also not the worst. She can be Citadel'd pretty easily if you show broadside, but that's pretty much true for all cruisers, regardless of tier. So we see him drop some torpedoes on that Tirpitz. The Tirpitz is doing a pretty good job of maneuvering and being hard to predict where he's going to go. And you can see he's already turning in to avoid those torpedoes. Now, this is where it starts to get really dangerous, because the Tirpitz is the only battleship right now to have torpedoes as well. So RNGesus here is taking a risk, and I think he gets very lucky here that he isn't completely wiped out by this Tirpitz. I think the Tirpitz has a few other ships on his mind other than RNGesus and his Atago right now. So this is where it gets really dangerous for him. The Tirpitz could have easily dropped on him right here, but I don't think he quite realizes how close RNGesus is. And it's only until now that he really realizes that RNGesus is so close. And there's the torpedoes, but watch this. Watch this torpedo beat. This is fantastic. I could not believe this. Scrapes by the front of his ship. Unbelievable. So, he said it was 100% planned, calculated, tactical beaching here. I'm not sure if I actually believe him on that one. But we don't have much time to relax. There's another Tirpitz inbound, and he's got at least 15 seconds on him. Or there's one torpedo launcher that he's got up right now. That's going to be the best bet for taking down that other Tirpitz. Unfortunately, all the launchers on the starboard side of his ship are still reloading. So he needs to get moving. He needs to get out of the way of that Tirpitz and hopefully get somebody else to draw the fire for him. So another great thing about Japanese cruisers in general is that they have fantastic HE damage and fantastic chance for fire. And this is his Zhao captain premium ship, so you do not have to train a specific captain for a ship. He has his Zhao captain in the Atago right now, which has a lot of captain skills. It is at least a 15-point captain, and you can really get really sneaky with the Atago. I think her base detectability with the 15-point captain skill is down below 10 kilometers, so you can actually even stealth torpedo with the Atago because she has a 10-kilometer range on her torpedo. So that first set of torpedoes that he launched looks pretty good. He's gonna get at least one, I believe, here. And that Tirpitz is trying to finish off the Nagato there. But RNGesus has more torpedoes ready to go. And at this range, it's really hard to dodge these torpedoes. They move very fast and they do a lot of damage. So it looks like that first spread, or that second spread missed, but that third spread, not even looking, is definitely going to sink that Tirpitz. And he gets a devastating strike out of that one. So this Kiev is back. Guess he didn't learn his lesson the first time. Fortunately, he looks like RNGesus misjudged that first salvo, but there he started to use his heal now. So you can see already how much healing he is getting back. Now watch this. So he saw that Hatsuharu, or Fubuki, can't remember, going that way, so he drops a blind spread of torpedoes through that channel, and we're just going to have to wait and see what happens with those. He's engaging the Kiev again at a really long range, but luckily those shots are on target and he's starting to do some good damage against him. The Kiev really should be farther away. He's too close to be engaging, and that's what's really great about those Soviet destroyers is their gun arcs are so flat and their shell velocity is so nice. So here we see the torpedoes going through that channel where that Japanese destroyer was last spotted. And let's see if he can get lucky. And there it is. And he nails that destroyer and then sees a very, very low health Nuremberg and finishes him off for the double strike. So now the Cyclone is in full swing. Right now, reducing visibility for all ships and all planes on the map. His team's doing pretty good, only lost 3 to the enemy team's 6, with 4 of those being RNGesus' kill here. He is not done yet, though. He is going to continue on his rampage with the Atago. So here he is engaging the Kiev again, who is does not either does not notice him or does not think he's a very viable threat. But look at that. That was one, broadside salvo on that Kiev, and it's just that fantastic Japanese HE shell damage. And at this range, he's pretty much not going to miss the majority of his shells. So the Kiev decides to make one final stand here. He's not going to last very long, and there's the Kraken. And this is when the Fuso comes around the corner. And at that range against a Fuso, it's not very accurate, but oof. And that's that citadel right under the front guns, and does a lot of damage against that Fuso. So he dropped torpedoes on that Fuso, and unfortunately the friendly carrier also dropped torpedoes on him from his torpedo bombers, which causes the Fuso to engage in some evasive maneuvers and RNG's first salvo completely misses the Fuso here. But he's going to get another chance. He's got more launchers on the other side of friendly Tirpitz coming up here to help him. But RNG's has to be really careful here. That Fuso can easily finish him off with a lucky salvo, and here it comes. But he is well angled, and the Fuso kind of misjudges the angle and the shot, and luckily he doesn't take too much damage. But you see he's already used all of the heals that he has, and that really, if he was in any other cruiser right now, no way would he still be alive. And there go the torpedoes, and that's gonna do it for the Fuso. Really, really fantastic torpedoes. You can see how far forward he can launch them on the Atago, which is a real change from the rest of the Japanese cruiser torpedoes, because they're more defensive. You almost have to be running away from an enemy to be able to drop those torpedoes with any other Japanese cruiser. The Furutaka has some really nice arcs on her, very similar to the Atago, but the rest of the Japanese cruisers can only fire their torpedoes from behind. So the game's kind of winding down here. Only 3 enemies left: a Cleveland, a New Mexico or Colorado, I believe, and this game's pretty much over at this point. We spot the Cleveland, and he's not very healthy right now, but RNG's is also not very healthy, so he needs to be careful here. He launches one spread at the Cleveland. Cleveland is pretty fast, pretty nimble, so it's going to be hard to land those shots. But here he loads AP, and look at that damage. Takes out almost half of the remaining of that Cleveland's health. And we can see him loading up the HE again to finish this guy off. And there's the Colorado. Drops a spread on him. Colorado is a pretty easy target to hit with torpedoes because they are so slow and they don't turn very good. So he's going to finish off this Cleveland here shortly. Don't think those torpedoes are going to land. But we can see the other spread that was going towards the Colorado was pretty good. Looked pretty good on point. So we kind of see him just chilling behind this island now. No need to risk it. No need to risk his ship. And at this point, he has 150,000 damage. Very soon, he's going to be adding the Colorado to that tally as his torpedoes impact and devastating strike, high caliber. 4 torpedoes hit, and that's his 7th kill of the game. Almost 200,000 damage. And that's where this replay ends. Unfortunately, couldn't get an 8th kill. The enemy cruiser was too far away. But a fantastic show of how to play the Atago. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. I have a Twitch channel. I don't have a schedule for streaming, but if you follow me and get the notifications on, it'll alert you whenever I am streaming. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you're thinking about picking up the Atago, it is a fantastic ship, and you would not be disappointed in it. So thanks for stopping by, and hopefully I'll see you on stream.